Hey, Robin, everybody loves the Drake fans. We're back for part 20 here of our Knightquest to Crusade. Wow, I can't believe I've done 20 of these. And we're going to look at Batman 507. Once again, fantastic Kelly Jones cover. It's really cool how he did kind of this cross-shadowing with debris, and you see Ballistic there and kind of a really menacing Asbats. This kind of surprised me right off the bat. I kind of forgot this, but if you look at it, the art's done by Jim Balent, who at this time, I remember him being Mr. Catwoman. He did, I think, 100 issues of Catwoman or around that. Maybe there was a guest penciler here and there. But this takes off right where 506 left off. And you've got the showdown here between Ballistic and Batman and... I guess that they're calling them the Three Stooges from Hell, or the punk rock Three Stooges. And, this issue, I hate to say it, it's kind of mediocre. Even Jim Balent's art didn't, blow me away like some of his Catwoman stuff did. But it wasn't bad either. And I felt Jean-Paul acts pretty heroic in this. I always saw Jean-Paul as a hero with some issues, but a hero. And when he's made out to be such a villain by some people or some places, it never just sticks with me, just because I've always seen him kind of heroic. But here we've got Ballistic and Batman. They kind of face off, and Ballistic's there for the money, honey. And the Three Stooges are kind of like, what's going on here? But then there's sort of a battle royal. So for a couple pages, there's a lot of shooting and fighting and punching, and it's kind of confusing who's going what. And here we get a little just flashback to remind us about the hit. And there's more fighting and explosions, and it's not bad, but it's not amazing either. And then the Three Stooges are able to create this explosion for their getaway, and Batman is saved by Ballistic here, sort of, but then he kind of lets him know that he was fireproof, and Ballistic's skin is fireproof, and luckily Asbats shoots that, which I don't know why the flames didn't trip the fire alarm, but there's the fire alarm, and they're still looking for Abattoir, and we get a little flashback of the Abattoir, and then the Three Stooges are kind of mad at each other, and that is just an odd cod piece on Curly. I guess that's Curly, I'm not really sure. And so then they decide to go to this temple, the Queen of Denial, not temple, I'm sorry, nightclub based on a temple, to find the Abattoir, because they think he's going to show up there, and Asbats and Ballistic kind of have the same lead, and then here come the Three Stooges, and now he's got a catcher's mask, and they even say, where'd you get that catcher's mask, and some slapstick gags that I don't think they really work in comic form. Maybe they don't even work in any form, but if you like slapstick and you find that hilarious, I'm happy for you and enjoy the laugh, but for most of us, I think it's just like, oh, okay. And here's our boy, Tim Drake. Look, there's a little flashback, but it's just Asbat saying, I don't need a partner. And I guess we get a little flash of Robin is having his adventures with the Huntress, although I'm surprised there's not an editor's note saying, go buy those issues of Showcase and Robin. But anyway, we had one battle royal. Here comes another. We show up at the nightclub, and then here come the Three Stooges, and they bust through a wall and take some hostages, and then Asbats and Ballistic show up, and we have some fights, and they punch, and they throw axes, and people get axes in the face, and there's all kinds of things falling and shooting and hurting and punching and kicking and all kinds of stuff, which was really not too exciting. Here's some more, and then there's some more, and then he realizes that the Three Stooges were after Abattoir, and that by stopping them, they may have saved Abattoir. And so now Batman tries to figure out who's behind all this, and they get the lead from the Three Stooges of the lawyer, and then the lawyer turns him in, and Ballistic gets his money, but Batman needs to still try to find Abattoir, which leads to, look over here, issue 508, which we cover on the Robin Everyone Loves the Drake podcast, and Batman's confrontation with Abattoir. And when 508 starts, you see, we can kind of see their Asbats helmets kind of shot up, And where is it? Some more. Oh, there's a good one here. See, it's kind of all damaged, which that damage takes place in Detective Comics. So, hey, there's Tim Drake. So, you'd kind of assume that between 507 and 508, where's 507? There it is. Some adventures in Detective Comics take place. So anyway, hope you enjoyed that. This is Terrence for Robin Everyone Loves the Drake podcast. Talk to you next time.